Oh, welcome. We're going to be doing a really quick one today, but a quick note of something that I was going through just then was I was in a little bit of that, I think I talked about in a previous episode, pain. I get a bit of pain around my abdomen when I'm quite stressed, my lower abdomen. It's like a really sharp pain across all of it. I had one on my birthday, in particular when I'm stressed about finances and that, and I've had one within the last year as well recently. So honestly, I literally was just talking it out with DeepSeek just then, because like some finances go up and down, and with the stress of that and how I know it will affect Yana, I'm like, maybe I'm not cut out for business, maybe I do need to get a job. She's repeated it a few times. I'm like, hey, maybe I'm not cut out for this, was one of the big things that I was starting to feel. Because, hey, and I wanted to document it because I'm like, it happens to me too. All the business success that I've had, and sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm just not cut out for it. Which, as I say it now, it sounds silly, but something that happened which was pretty cool, because I was sitting at the table over there before, just thinking about what would I do, like, oh, I'm in pain, and then one of my gym mates came over, and we literally were chatting in the sauna a couple days ago about how he was going to go to Australia Zoo yesterday for his kid's birthday, second birthday. So I asked him how that was, and I was in pain. I was sitting down, like I couldn't really get up to talk to him initially. I actually got up and like I was leaning on the table because I was in so much pain. Like I'm walking like stooped over in that. But when we talked about it, he talked about passion. He was like, oh, it was so good to see. I'm just going to do my prime whilst doing this. The passion you can feel when Steve Irwin is talking, and that, obviously being Australia Zoo, I imagine he heard his voice there around that stuff. And yeah, that, oh, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to lift today. With that passion that he felt was really good, and he really loved that, and it took him back to our conversation, because we had a conversation in the sauna a couple days ago, and I was like diving into what he does for work, which is youth work, and just like the stuff that they go through with that and what the kids are experiencing. I was asking what's most rewarding about it, what are the biggest challenges, and Yana had posed a really interesting question to me that day that she likes asking people. It's like, oh, an interesting one is always to ask, if you were given $1 million, how would you run things differently? And I was like, that's a great question. So I actually asked him that, and when we started talking about that, he actually got quite passionate about it. He was like, oh, I would do something that he was saying before, which is like put more emphasis on community sports and like developing that within it, and he'd run it as his own business. Because that's what breaks through for most of them from what he can see. Because I was asking him a couple of days ago, like, what do you find works best for them? And it's really team sports and like sports and that sense of team and belonging and something to do as well, and purpose was really, really big by way of that. And so he's like, yeah, I'd emphasize that. And I know some people, like, they're in the industry and they think, okay, just the longer we can get the kids to work with us and stay with us, the more money we get. But he was like, that's just not how he thinks about it. He's like, he really thinks what the focus should be is getting those kids back to their families, because that's where they should be. And literally, as he was talking about it, my pain just like dropped to 5%. Like, it didn't just drop by 5%, but it dropped to 5%. And I was like, whoa. And then I could stand up rightfully, could walk over here and all that, and actually start training. And I was just plugging into DeepSeek some of the thoughts, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for business and that, but something I realized as I was talking it through was, DeepSeek told me back when I told it what happened. It was like, yeah, well, the body doesn't lie. Like, that pain being alleviated by the passion and talking about that is such a powerful indicator there. And even when I think about, okay, what am I passionate about? How do I align the business with what I'm passionate about and what I care about? Then I'm like, what would I do? You know, how would I do things? How can I focus more on that and have everything be built around the passion? Because that's why we're in business as well, is like to have everything built around your passion. Yeah, I think that's that really fires me up, and I'm like, I could do that all day. And sometimes I get a bit caught up in another question that posed to me, DeepSeek posed to me, was, what would my business look like? Or it was like, ask yourself this question: what would my business look like if it was fueled by 100% curiosity, not fear? I was like, oh, that's a super interesting reframe and really great question, because I know that a lot of my business now, if I think about the percentage and just gave a percentage off the cuff, 85% of my actions are driven by fear. I'm like, whoa, even for myself. Once I stepped into the provider role, I think I just started freaking panicking all the time. And I was like swearing a little bit here. I dropped a couple F-bombs under my breath. So that's when I know that things are really getting to me. But yeah, that was such a good question that I was like, oh, okay, what would it look like if it was fueled 100% by curiosity and passion? See, I can stand up now and walk over like this. Bro, I was literally walking like this from the car. I was like this, trying to stay upright and like not have Yana worry about me. Like a silly goose, but she can tell. I know she can tell. No, I'm the silly goose in that, not her, by the way. Yeah, it was good to be able to chat about that with DeepSeek and have that question posed to me, because I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really good question. What would it look like if it was 100% fueled by passion? Or curiosity more so. That question sparked my curiosity. So then I was just like, what would it look like? I wonder what this will be like if I think, just like with my weight training and that, like the best things are actually sparked and fueled by curiosity and passion, as opposed to fear. You know, the best things in my life are, and it was just such a great way of putting it. I was like, whoa, okay, what would it look like? And Yana and I were talking about how even with my content, my business, my marketing, it's more, because the core of it is people love what I do and they're like, I want to do what you do, meaning that my message will best get across if I just say what I want to say, what I'm called to say by God, surrendering it to God, instead of just saying what I think I should say. Like today I kind of put an offer out that was around passive income because it's part of what I do, but it wasn't necessarily coming from the right place. It definitely came more so from that I feel like I should do it. And hey, it happens, bro. It happens, but it was better to put it out there and realize that, and then keep that momentum rolling and be like, okay, I'm not getting told off here. Even when Yana was questioning, I was like, okay, this is a great point. Part of me, my body felt like it was getting told off, but then I know that I'm not getting told off. We're just refining all of these things, and you got to take action to refine it. But yeah, it was, it's like throwing shots and sparring. If you throw nothing, yes, you never mess it up, but you never actually learn. You got to throw punches, kicks, all these things to actually learn. Otherwise, you just never learn. And so yeah, it's just, okay, I think I'm in that stage of the sparring, like that I normally get to in sparring, jiu-jitsu and that, where you think that, okay, all the outcomes, like I'm just getting smashed every single day, it's so stressful and I'm not getting any better. But the main thing is to go through that. Like you get better by going through that and picking yourself up and choosing to surrender to the process and be like, yeah, cool, this is part of it, but also not giving up, just lying there and waiting for the round to cruise out, you know? So for me, it's understanding that and choosing to do that for myself is big. I honestly came over to this because I was like, I can lay down and do it and it won't be too heavy. But yeah, because my left upper pec is actually a little bit sore from some of the stuff we've been doing, which is probably feeds into why I've been doing chest once a week. So I might very lightly play around with this second set, but I'm not up for this today. I'm gonna do something else, maybe a bit of shoulder work in that. Just because like my chest development is actually really solid, but I've been doing it like once a week because I do a pretty solid hard session. So I've kind of come around full swing with what some of those other guys do, where it's like you just chest once a week. So I might do my accessories like shoulders and triceps, have a shoulder and tricep day instead of the chest day. Yeah, because my chest is not recovered from my session on Sunday, and it's Wednesday now. And before that I did a session Thursday as well. So Thursday, Sunday are pretty close by, instead of like before that it was like Sunday and then Saturday and then thingo. So it was like there were like 6 days between chest stuff, so I think I can recover a lot better that way. Anyway, experimentation and curiosity. So I'll just see what this feels like, pray about it, an opportunity to pray. One of my things that gets me fear is like one of my clients hasn't paid for his stuff yet and he's kind of dropped off, and initially I was scared that, oh, he didn't want to continue or anything. So see, that's the state of my mind sometimes, but he does want to continue. He's just been really busy, so I was giving him the space as well. And then with the payment stuff, I'm like, oh, I got to do this, and like I don't know where money's coming from. So it's just like, okay, instead of focusing on that, what if we were driven by curiosity and passion instead of fear? And that's a weird question to pose to myself, because I'm like, whoa, I don't know. No, I do know, but it's pretty cool. So I'm very excited even to put my offers out in that, from that place. I'm like, oh yeah, it's even though you know it, sometimes a little reminder every once in a while is genius. All right, well, obviously I knew that would happen, but in terms of moment arms, because the things are so much higher, it's much easier, so that felt like I was doing nothing, but it's probably good because my chest is like up here, these upper fibers, they really get stimulated. I think it's also because my elbow's tighter on this side, so when I go to a certain range of motion, it's coming through my shoulder as opposed to bending at the elbow a bit more. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to do the range of motion I see other guys do. But as a result of that, you're like, well, I'm actually going past a certain point, I'm stretching my chest quite hard, which is probably why it gets so much growth and development as well. But definitely something to take into consideration for doing things properly. Oh, you know, I actually just had a wave of feeling a little bit sick, actually, or like a lot of the stress is just released from my body with these little breakthroughs, which was really cool to have, actually, because I'm like, oh, sometimes you get to this point and you just want to give up. Because I did, like, that's what I was saying. I was like, maybe I'm not cut out for it. Maybe it was like a good 6 years and that's it. And it's like, no, obviously I'm not actually going to give up. But that's what we do, you know, we just keep going, keep strong, keep having fun with it. I think Pilates is done now, so I'm going to wrap up. But yeah, it's I didn't come this far just to come this far, and this is all the art of being man. I'm very blessed to be able to do what I do, so let's embody that and keep it all gravy, baby. We're going to take a whiz before Yana's out. Let's go. Bye-bye.